Well, hello once again, guitar families. This is Mr. Koenig once again with your weekly recap of class. I'm trying a new recording feature on the computer here, so bear with me as I'm starting to learn how to do both the video as well as some of the screencasting. Anyways, where I am right now is in my Google Drive. And I believe I've shared this with parents. I'll make sure to reshare it once again. But this is my 2016 to 17 MIDI for Kids resources for parents and students. There's a bunch of stuff in here. It's primarily all of the print stuff that I will give to your kids in class. And so you'll be able to find this stuff. If they lose it, you can print it out at home, whatnot. So for instance, in class, we might be using the MIDI for Kids guitar book. This is the book that comes from the company. We have copies here in the classroom that stay here, but I can always print out stuff for you to practice at home, as well as if you need a copy of any of that, it's all right there. You don't need to go to the MIDI for Kids website to get that. I have that right there for you. We have a guitar chord chart that we'll use in class. We also have some blank chord boxes. I have the kids write them in, which I think is great. It allows them to take that ownership. So if you see them with their handwritten chord charts, that's for them for making it easier to remember. Anyhow, one of the things that we did today was this sheet that I created for the kids. These patterns that are focusing on the first string, which is the high E string. On your guitar, it's actually the furthest away from your face. It's this one down here, the narrowest or skinniest string. The one that if any strings break, that's going to be the one to break. When we play it open, it's going to sound like so. That's the note E, and the note E right here sits in the fourth space of the treble staff. Number one here starts with 3 G's. Now, to play the note G, see if I can orient myself so that you can see my guitar a little bit better. To play the note G, we're going to play the first string while pressing right behind the 3rd fret, and that'll give us the note G. If we do that with just one finger down, it's typically fine. I prefer that the children will press all 3 fingers, use all 3 fingers to give a little bit of extra support. So number 1 would sound like this. Number 2 would sound like this. When I play those open E's, I simply release the fingers. Number 3 would sound something like this. And so on and so forth. Number 4. Number 5. Now, we don't get any changes until we get down to number 7, where we add one additional note, which is the note F sharp. That's this note that's on the top line. That F sharp is a sharp note because it has this little sign at the beginning of the staff that indicates that any note on that line is a little bit higher than it typically is. Most cases, F would be played on 1st fret. These Fs are going to be played on 2nd fret. So number 7 would sound and look something like this. There's our F sharp, and then G. I'll play it again. Again, I prefer the kids to use as many fingers to press down those frets as possible. Number 8 would sound like this. And number 9, I won't give them all away. So as your child is practicing, they can look through all of them, 1 through 14, to see how far along we can get. We can create melodies out of those. We can improvise using those patterns. All of these fall in the blues patterns. So as they're playing those G's, I might be able to strum. And accompany them as we go. Practice those a bunch and see how far we can take those. The other piece to practice is in our MIDI for Kids book, and I should have passed these out to your students, and if you don't have them, let me find the page here. I apologize for scrolling through, but the song is called Tough Break. We're going to be playing two chords, our E minor and our E major. If you're on, what page is this? Page 16 in the book, they have the two chords that you can write in, but your child should have their chord sheet that they can refer to. And we will scroll on down to Tough Break. Now, Tough Break has a lead sheet. What that means is that there are chord symbols, which is these letters above the words, and each slash is a strum. So, for instance, at the very beginning, and the words, I am like a bird in the sky and I can fly. There's our E major chord. When we get to where it's circled here even, where there's a lowercase m, that's an E minor chord. And the kids will have to switch between E major and E minor. Now let me go to full screen here so you can see the E major chord, second finger on the second fret of the 5th string, third finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and our index finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. It should sound like that. And if you're getting kind of ambitious, you can always pluck that 6th string and then strum. It makes kind of a nice sound. I am like a bird in the sky and I can fly. Now when we go to the E minor chord, and I showed you this in the previous video, we lift up that index finger, leaving only 2 fingers down, our 2nd and 3rd. Dreaming when I'm dreaming. Now, as far as when to switch, well, that's determined by where the chord symbols are in the piece. So your child will just have to follow the words. I am like a bird in the sky and I can fly among the clouds very high when I am E minor dreaming. When I am dreaming. It changes back there. I know you can't see because of my video. We're going to be playing this one next week. If you notice, it is track 7 on the CD that your child should have gotten last week. If you are missing that, please feel free to send me an email and I can send you the performance track that they can play along with. Folks, thank you so much for all the things that you do, getting your kids here with all their equipment. That's not always easy, and as we go throughout the year, I know there's going to be folks that forget, but so far it's been marvelous, and thank you for also picking up on time. Totally appreciate that. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email or give me a call, and if your child's doing something that you think is exceptional or even just pretty good, feel free to take a video of them practicing in their own element and send it on over to me. I'd love to see it. Anyways, hope that helps for this week. Happy practicing. Share this with your child, and it'll also be on my web page under the MIDI for Kids. Thanks. Take care.